All right, thank you guys. Happy Tuesday to you. Let's go ahead and start the video with Memphis taking on Cleveland, and that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern start time. The Cleveland Cavaliers are -2 with the total at 215.5. Before we go ahead and break down this game here today, I just want to give you a quick reminder that we are 8-4 in our last 12 $1.99 daily best plays on my website at brockpage.com. And if you want to access today's $1.99 daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. Now, the link for that pick is in the description section below. And once again, if you're wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website, well, as you already know, what I do here on YouTube is I provide an opinion on every single game that's on the slate, predicting the side and total. And what I do differently on my website is, well, actually share with you which games I'm actually betting on personally, games that I have my own action on. And no, I don't bet every single game on the board like I do here on YouTube. So if you want to access every single pick that I give out on that website, you're going to want to think about signing up for my board member tier package, where we are also 4-2 in our last 6 plays in that particular category. Now, when it comes to this Memphis-Cleveland game, it's actually the Cavaliers who are covering in 74% of their home games this season. As a matter of fact, the Cavs are allowing just 101 points per contest at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, and they're limiting their opponents to just 32% shooting from three-land there. Now, offensively, Darius Garland is scoring 19.5 points a night, along with 3 rebounds and 7 assists. Meanwhile, Kevin Love is drilling nearly 44% of his three-pointers off the bench. He's averaging over 14.5 points a game. Not a lot of buzz or people talking about Kevin Love, but he's actually producing some pretty good numbers here in the twilight of his career. Now, rebounding-wise, the Cavaliers are currently in the top 10 in defensive boards as well. They're taking on a Memphis squad who has a whole bunch of guys on the COVID list right now. Anderson, Brooks, Melton, Concher, Tillman, Buchanan, and Williams. They are all questionable to play tonight due to virus worries. And as hot as the Grizzlies have been here recently, they actually do a terrible job in guarding the three ball. A lot of folks just kind of shooting them up and making them against them as if they're not even there. Now, offensively, on the other side of the court, Memphis also shot the ball quite poorly on the road this year, as they currently find themselves in the bottom 5 in road offensive field goal percentage. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, Memphis saw their last 3 straight all fall under the posted number. They also went 70% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Cleveland, on the other side of things, they are 6-3 to the under in their last 9 themselves, throwing out that Indiana game. Cleveland's also officially 63% to the under in all of their contests at home. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Cleveland -2 and the under 215.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Spurs versus the Raptors, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Toronto is -6.5, totals 224. Now, the Raptors have been absolute covering machines here recently, as they successfully covered the number in their last 3 straight. And they also went 80% against the number in their last 10. Toronto's done a really nice job defensively at the Scotiabank Arena this year. They're currently in the top 10 in the NBA in fewest home points allowed. Now, scoring-wise, Freddie VanVleet's averaging 20 points a game, along with 5 rebounds and 6 assists. Now, Freddie's also done a really nice job of shooting the long ball, as he's drilling 40% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, his teammate Pascal Siakam, he's scoring just about 20 points a night himself, along with 8 boards and 4 assists. Pretty good production out of those two guys. But, of course, you get good production out of those guys year in and year out. Now, they're taking on a Spurs team who's going to work here today without their leading scorer, DeJounte Murray. He's currently out on the COVID list. And as a matter of fact, Dougie McDermott and Lonnie Walker, they're on the COVID list as well. They're out. They won't be playing. Now, the Spurs are currently on a 3-game losing streak, and they find themselves victorious in only 38% of their road games. And not only are these guys in the bottom 10 in the NBA in points allowed per contest, they're also in the bottom 5 in defensive rebounding. So certainly some defensive woes for San Antonio and their backers. Now, total-wise, 2 out of San Antonio's last 3 fell under the posted number. The Spurs are officially 12-6 of the under in their contests on the road this season. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Toronto minus 6.5 in the under 224. The next ball game, it is going to be Pacers versus the Knicks, and that's going to be a 7:30 Eastern start time. New York is -2 at home with the total at 207.5. But despite being favored in this one, New York is going to work without their leading scorer, Julius Randle. He's currently in health and safety protocols. And speaking of which, Kemba Walker and Nerlens Noel, they're sitting this one out here tonight due to the virus as well. So certainly some bad news for Knicks fans there. Going to make things a little bit harder for them because when it comes to playing at home, the Knicks are actually playing their worst basketball at Madison Square Garden. They've won only 7 of 18 in the Big Apple, and they successfully cover the point spread in only 33% of those home games at MSG. And similar to last season, really the big issue with the Knicks is their poor offensive production. That's why I said earlier, just a few moments ago, having those guys out, those big scorers for New York, it's certainly not helping matters. Once again, big issue with the Knicks is their poor offensive production. They're in the bottom 5 in shooting from the field, and they're averaging only 104 points a night as a team. Now, they're taking on a Pacers club who successfully covered the point spread in their last 2 straight, and they also got the W in 6 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with New York. And despite their struggles this season, the Pacers have done a real nice job getting rebounds defensively. They currently find themselves in the top 5 in the NBA in defensive rebounding on the road. So these guys certainly doing a good job in the painted area. Now, Domantas Sabonis, he's averaging double-digit rebounds per contest, 18 points a game for Boney. Meanwhile, teammate Karis LeVert is scoring over 17.5 points per contest himself, along with 3 boards and 4 assists. Now, when it comes to this COVID list, you always got to kind of mention the COVID list because almost every team at least has one guy on it. But anyway, when it comes to this game, in this particular COVID list, Lamb, Brogdon, Batazzi, Martin, Duarte, and Jackson, they're all sitting this one out for Indiana due to the virus. And when it comes to the total in this one, Indiana saw 4 out of their last 7 get over the posted number. Meanwhile, the Knicks saw contests with Toronto, Washington, and Boston recently get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward Indiana +2 in the over 207.5. All right, next ball game I have for you. It is going to be Suns versus the Pelicans, and that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Phoenix is -7.5 on the road with a total at 223. Now, Phoenix got the W in 7 out of their last 10 ball games, and they're currently 12-4 straight up on the road this season. The Suns are allowing just 104 points per contest this year, and they're limiting their opponents to just 32% shooting from beyond the arc. These guys have been very good on the defensive end of the court. Now, scoring-wise, Devin Booker's averaging over 23.5 points a game, along with 5 boards and 4 assists. Book's also drilling 42% of his shots from beyond the arc, shooting very well from downtown. And speaking of which, Mikal Bridges, he's draining 40% of his 3 balls himself. 12 points a night as well for Mikal. The Suns are averaging nearly 113 points per night, and they're in the top 3 in shooting from the field. Really not much that these guys do wrong. Phoenix certainly picking up where they left off from last season. Now they're taking on a Pelicans team who's 11 games below 500 right now, and they struggle guarding the 3. And as a matter of fact, New Orleans is in the bottom 3 in the NBA in defensive three-point percentage, and they're also in the bottom 3 in just regular defensive field goal percentage as well. So it's almost as if their opponents are in pregame warm-ups. I mean, They got to do a better job defensively. Now, injury-wise, Satoransky is questionable for the Pels. Meanwhile, for Phoenix, McGee, Crowder, and Nader, they are out for them. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, Phoenix is 10-6 of the under on the road this year. Meanwhile, New Orleans saw games with Utah, Portland, and San Antonio fall under the line recently themselves. I'm going to lean toward Phoenix minus 7.5 and the under 223. And with that, guys, now it's time for my next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Kings versus the Lakers, and that's going to be a 10:30 Eastern start time. LA's minus 6.5 with the total at 230. And as good as the Lakers have played over the past week or so, they did fail to cover in 6 out of their last 10 ball games. And as a matter of fact, the Lakers have successfully covered the point spread in only 7 out of 22 home games this year. And that's good for just 31% in that particular category. So if you've been backing the Lakers, and a lot of people do, you've been certainly feeling the pain this season. Now, offensively, the Lakers, they actually have been fine. They've been pretty good offensively. But defensively, on the other end of the court, they're allowing 113 points a game at the Crypto Center, and they're currently in the bottom 3 in the league in defensive rebounding. So definitely some problem areas there on the defensive end of the court. Now, they're squaring off against the Sacramento team, who won 3 out of their last 4 themselves, with victories over the likes of Miami and Dallas during that span. And when it comes to scoring, well, the Kings have had little problems putting points up on the board this year. Sacramento's currently in the top 5 in road scoring, top 10 in road offensive rebounding. De'Aaron Fox is scoring over 20 points a game, along with 3 boards, 5 assists. Meanwhile, Harrison Barnes, he's been great from long range. He's shooting 42% from beyond the arc. He's also scoring over 16.5 points a night. Now, injury-wise, Holmes is out. Davis is questionable. Meanwhile, for the Lakers, Anthony Davis is still out for them. Avery Bradley is listed as questionable as well. When it comes to the total in this one, 4 out of the Lakers' last 6 ball games got over the posted number. LA's also 13-9 to the over in front of their home fans. Meanwhile, the Kings are currently 63% to the over in all of their road games this year. I'm going to lean towards Sacramento plus 6.5 in the over 230. With that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are currently 8-4 in our last 12 $1.99 daily best plays. I like Cleveland minus 2, under 215.5. Give me Toronto minus 6.5, under 224. Indiana plus 2, over 207.5. Phoenix Suns minus 7.5, under 223. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, just another quick reminder that if you want to access every single pick that I give out on my brockpage.com website, you're going to want to sign up for my board member tier, where board members get access to every single pick that I give out on that page all the way through the end of January. I'm going to lean towards Sacramento plus 6.5 in the over 230. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, real quick, guys, if you're on the fence or you're thinking about, signing up for a package on my website, just keep in mind, if you sign up for a package here today, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on my website, you're actually going to get access to those picks all the way through the end of January. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And like I just said a few moments ago, if you want to get access to every single pick that I give out on that website, you're going to want to think about signing up for my board member tier, where board members get access to every single pick that I give out all the way through the end of January as well. It's by far your best value, although just keep in mind, if you sign up for the board member today, we actually don't have a board member tier pick today. We had one yesterday. We got one queued up ready to go for tomorrow, but we actually don't have a board member tier pick today. But board members do get access to every single pick that I give out on that website. Now, most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.